Fans purchase tickets to a show. They buy merchandise. They follow you religiously on social media. You want fans, not just listeners. And here's how you do it. Fans are the ones that make an artist's career. They're the ones that make your music career financially stable. And that's why fans are needed. It's amazing to have listeners. It's the first step in any artist's career. However, just leaving them as listeners won't make you a full-time artist, won't make you an artist that can sell out arenas, that can get charting material. And that's why you do need fans. But you're competing with millions of others. How do you get those listeners to actually transform, to convert into those lifelong fans? I'm going to take you along that journey of getting that listener and then fully converting them so that they're a fan that will purchase tickets to your shows, that will buy your merchandise, which will literally be waiting for your next post on Instagram. Let's start discussing how you can get these listeners into fans. And the first one, which all of you probably should know if you are a follower of this channel, is social media content. What's fantastic about these streaming platforms is they link your socials to it. This means if someone discovers you in a playlist, they can go to your profile and they'll have all of your social media platforms linked. If you haven't done this, that's the first step. Definitely link all of your social media. You should have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all linked in that About section. What's also key is to have all of these platforms intertwined with the brand. All have matching profile pictures, all have matching colours, logos, fonts, so that if people go to the platform and don't think it's you, they won't just click off. The issue with taking someone from a listener into a fan, especially through this method, is if you don't have that high quality content on your profile, people aren't going to engage further. They're just going to leave it at that. You had that one shot and you lost it. Because if you go to someone's profile, you take the effort to go from one platform to another and you're not impressed, why would you ever come back? So make sure that content is of high quality. And by high quality, I mean engaging. People want to be able to go over to your platforms, so that could be Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, and engage in a conversation. So that content style is key. You need to be able to understand what you want to put across to your audience. Do you want to entertain them because you're quite a funny artist? Do you want to document your journey as being an artist and they can follow you all the way? Or perhaps you've already got a content style that is working for you. What's key with all of this is if you're not consistent with it, people again won't become a fan. If they come across from streaming platforms, go over to your Instagram and see that you haven't posted in a month, they're going to think that you don't ever post, so they're not going to come back for more. Consistent, high quality content following a particular theme and style is key. I actually did a video pretty recently on 3 artists that are smashing it on socials that you should check out, and I'll make sure to link that video below. It's across all platforms as well, so you can get some really good content ideas from these people. Instagram specifically is literally made for artists to engage with their fans. You've got stories which allow polls, Q&As, sliders, but then you've also got comments and DMs. So you could literally get a follower and DM them immediately. You could say thanks for the follow and then say something personal about their profile so they know it's not a bot. And then start a conversation with them, see where they discovered you, where they found you. And from this, you can collect data on where people are discovering you and work your content around that. Speaking directly to that audience means you can easily convert someone from a listener into a fan because you're becoming so personal with them. They're going to fall in love with you as an artist. And that's the key thing here. You're competing with millions of other artists. So what makes you different? What makes you likable? But as I'm sure a lot of you know, the algorithms on these social media platforms mean that the organic reach is dropping rapidly. If you look at Facebook, the organic reach on a Facebook page, which a lot of you will have, has dropped to around 2%. So Facebook pages, unless you've got the followers there, are pretty useless. Instagram, still fantastic organic reach, but yes, it is dropping. So social media ads can be very beneficial, especially when you're trying to transform someone from a listener into a fan. Because as I said before, they might go to your profile, not be that impressed and never come back. With ads, you can continuously retarget them. Alex has done a full tutorial on how to run a social media ad, so I'll link that one below. But also with the content, don't just push out something which is selling. No one cares if you've got a new release out if they're not a fan yet. You need to give. What can you give these people which will mean that they actually want to engage with you further? And this usually is something fitting to your content style. So if you're entertaining, you might be doing a little skit, you could run that as an ad. Or potentially you're documenting something, so it could be a really interesting part of your tour diary. Or you can actually do a full-on PR stunt. Do something which will get people's attention, put a massive banner on it, because these people aren't engaging with you. They don't know who you are fully yet. So you really need to stand out. You really need to grab their attention. So the best thing to do is run ads on people that have viewed your profile. So they obviously came across from somewhere else, but may not have followed. But another thing you can also do is look at where people are listening to you. Maybe all your listeners are coming from a certain playlist. Therefore, what you can do is run an ad specifically for the people that are listening to that playlist. For example, you might be a rock artist. You might have been put on a Spotify playlist such as New Noise. From here, you can make an ad stating that you added to New Noise and then run that ad against people that follow those artists that are also on that playlist. You can even do this with user-curated playlists. It adds credibility, but it also means that that person is guaranteed to like your style of music, like your style of content. So we've got ads, we've got organic reach on social media, but then there's also the aspect of playing live. With streaming platforms, you can link your concerts to Spotify. This is done automatically through Ticketmaster, Songkick, Eventbrite. So if your gigs are listed on there, they will automatically go onto your Spotify on the concert section. Also, if people have followed you because they want you to come up on a release radar playlist, then that means that they're going to get an email notification if you're playing near them. So the live aspect is fantastic because listeners are going to actually be pushed to come and see you live. Often listeners will go see artists live, even if they're not a proper fan yet, just to sort of test the waters, see if they will like an artist enough. However, if you do not play a good set, that person is never going to become a fan. Playing live often means you've got the chance of reaching a larger audience, reaching all of those listeners, but it also means you have a higher chance of getting more fans. Playing live is your opportunity to transform anyone from a casual listener into a lifelong fan. There are plenty of artists that have blown up, have created their career because their live performance is so phenomenal. So every set you do, make sure you perfected that set to begin with, but make it an experience. And that also means playing your heart out, even if there's only 2 people in the room, because transforming 2 listeners into 2 lifelong fans is better than nothing. My final tip is one that is for every artist, even if you don't have listeners or don't have fans. This is something that you should think about throughout your whole music career, and it especially transforms the listener into a fan. And that's make sure to give and not take. I know you as the artist feel like giving your art away for such a small fee can feel like you're giving to your audience. However, as the consumer, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like it's taking. When you're scrolling on social media, you are bombarded with content. You're bombarded with people that want your attention. So that could be a YouTuber wanting you to watch a YouTube video, an influencer wanting you to click the sponsorship deal discount code, or it could be an artist wanting you to listen to a song. So a 3.5-minute song from an artist is actually taking from the consumer. You are taking time away from that person. And yes, when they click it and actually listen to the song, they might absolutely love it. And that's the best 3.5 minutes they've had this whole day. But they don't know that yet. They don't know that that song's going to be worth the 3.5 minutes. So think, always give. Always be providing value to your audience. So that could be through your content. You could naturally be entertaining your audience. Or it could be that you're engaging with them. Every time you get a new follower, you're starting a conversation, and that's giving. Try to avoid taking as much as you possibly can, because the minute you start taking is the minute that someone starts to get a little bit suspicious, feels like they're being taken advantage of, feels like they're not really in the community. And a fan base is a community. Yes, you're leading that community, but you are the one that should be involved in it. So those are a few tips on how you can transform someone from a listener into a fan. I hope you found this video useful, and if you have any questions at all, make sure to comment them below. If you haven't joined the community yet, make sure to subscribe and turn on that bell so you're notified when we upload. And I'll see you soon with more music marketing advice.